Hello and welcome back to Nourished Sundays. I'm your host, Joanna, certified in holistic nutrition from the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition. And this series is all about healthy eating and decoding what that may mean to you and your family. Today I want to talk a bit about adrenal fatigue. Now, I'm putting it quote unquote because it's a phrase that you may have heard often, and it's becoming more and more popular to hear it. So, adrenal fatigue. It is also something that's still very controversial in the medical world, and there's like both sides. So, some people say it's real, it's something that really happens in the body, and other people are saying that no, that's just, it's just a trend. It's not, there's nothing really that we can do, it's not diagnosable, and things like that. But I want to talk a bit about what the adrenals are because they're real. We have them in our body, and basically it's tiny little glands that sit on top of our kidneys. So they're pretty small, but they have a big top, and they produce many hormones that we need in our body. And hormones, they regulate things in our body, right? So they have a huge job. They're pretty tiny there. And there is a lot of things that may put them under stress. So basically that's, what adrenal fatigue is referring to. It's the stress that's put on those tiny glands that have a huge role in our body. There's, it's just the stress that affects them is just general stress that affects us. But one thing is that when they're under stress, there is an overproduction of cortisol. You may have heard of cortisol before, but cortisol is basically known as the stress hormone that we have in our body. And cortisol has a biochemical role and value, like it's there for a reason, right? But basically what it does is it controls our fight or flight response. Fight or flight. Flight or flight. Fight or flight response. Okay, make it happen. So, it's something very primitive that we have. But basically when we have high levels of cortisol, which are often, happen in our body because of stress we experience from the outer world, stress we put into our body, so lots of caffeine, alcohol, high sugar, like all the things that add extra stress to our body, that tends to makes us produce more cortisol, right? And basically what it does is because our body's then ready to fight or flight, then it's gonna stop the digestion process. So it's gonna shut down digestion because digestion is not a priority in the fight or flight situation, right? When you're running to save your life from a lion, your body's not gonna be like, digestion is gonna save you, right? You need extra energy to run faster, right? And what it does too is that it suppresses the immune system because again, fighting a bacteria is not going to help you fight a lion who wants to eat you. So it's going to shut down the immune system, and if it's something that's more chronic, that you have high cortisol chronically, then it's going to lead you to have more repeated infections, for example, because your immune system is not working properly because again your body thinks it's in that the message it gets is like, okay, now it's not a moment to focus on building up the immune system. And it also, number 3, lowers nutrient absorption because since digestion is shut down, then our absorption too, like the healthy absorption system is not working efficiently because again it's not a priority to run away from the lion in that moment, right? And by the way, what we tell ourselves and think of ourselves influences and can release cortisol, and that has been proven in many scientific peer-reviewed research. So once again, what you think of yourself, tell yourself, that's influencing your production of cortisol. So that again we see that body and mind connection. Very, very important to think about that. But back to the adrenals. So when the adrenals are stressed because of high production of cortisol, and that's, again, things that are happening. So high coffee, alcohol, high exercise too, it adds a lot of stress, sugar. Then that's when, it becomes an overworked gland, or adrenal fatigue, as it has been referred. And the symptoms are brain fog, irritability, mood swings, low concentration, excessive fatigue, so overall fatigue, salt and sugar cravings, insomnia, nervousness, and depression symptoms, and often dry skin. So all of those things have been linked to and connected with adrenal fatigue. So because, an overworked gland, this overworked gland is gonna have holistic symptoms like, the one I just described, then it's important to understand that we need a holistic healing without all the stimulation onto the adrenals. So that's just a simple way to explain what adrenal fatigue is and how to tackle it. Thankfully, there's holistic nutrition protocols that really help with that, to support it. Whether or not you believe that's a true thing, well, you can see real symptoms. So there's way to support those symptoms. If you have any questions about it or would like to book a free consultation call to see how holistic nutrition may be helpful to you and your family, then all the information is down below the video. I will see you again next week. In the meantime, eat well and be well. Bye, and take care of your adrenals.
Salsa, baby.